In today's video, I wanted to talk about something that surprisingly very few people, if any, have spoken about in the past, at least not on YouTube, and it's definitely something that I've never talked about. I was just having a conversation with a friend who said they've been very troubled lately. They've been exploring LSD, and they've been having a variety of different kinds of experiences that have prompted them to periodically flip-flop their beliefs as to what they think this reality is, or as to what is important to focus on in your life. One of them being religion. He stated that in his last LSD trip, he was visually seeing religious symbolism everywhere. It's funny for me listening to him talk about this because I completely know what he means. He's interpreting it as meaning perhaps the Bible is right. So he's thinking maybe there's some validity to Christianity, maybe I've been wrong, maybe dismissing this my whole life has been a mistake, maybe that's what's missing from my life. And I would like to explain to you guys why this happens, and I'd also like to explain a fundamental, I want to say problem, or not really problem, a predicament that a lot of people find themselves in once they do begin to start exploring psychedelics, and that is their beliefs get really fucked up. It's not uncommon for people to take, say, LSD or psilocybin mushrooms and then either believe in religion afterwards, which is less likely, but more so people believe in spirituality. People will start truly believing that we are all one, which I know is arguable considering we all came from the same stardust and, everything is from an exploding star, which is miraculous to think about. Like, on a very real level, I'm one with this table, with this ammo crate right here, with this globe, with this bottle, with this camera. But that's not the realization that troubles most people. People can make the mistake sometimes of believing that everything that happens to them during a LSD or any psychedelic experience is true, is actually real, that they've been shown some ultimate truth. The truth is, if you were going to take all of the spiritual concepts and all of your new beliefs as to, maybe us being in a simulation, which is actually likely, or all of your new beliefs as to what these psychedelics are telling you about real life, and if you're going to take those as fact, then how do you get around dismissing all of the aspects of a trip that you may not like? How do you take some of it as, the ultimate truth and then dismiss the rest as just tripping? For example, I've had trips, like my last really bad trip, what I called the worst trip of my life, where I was tripping with two friends, and in the experience, I had a very real realization that the three of us were the only beings who existed. And in the trip, I had a very real fear that I was going to be stuck with these two guys who in my trip turned into monsters forever. That I was stuck in limbo, and no matter what, all of this reality was just some kind of an illusion. When you peel away the fallacy of existence, what's left is just me and my two friends. And that's all there has ever been, and everything else was just an illusion, a disguise. I mean, it would seem crazy if I were to sit here and be like, yeah, I fully believe that during that trip, I learned the ultimate truth, and the ultimate truth is, for whatever reason, myself and my two friends are the only beings who have ever existed, will ever exist, and will continue to exist for all of eternity. That sounds fucking crazy, radically crazy. And on a scientific level, we're now just starting to understand that how substances like LSD work is they allow parts of the brain that previously couldn't communicate with one another to start communicating. So when these different regions of the brain do communicate, the result is perhaps these visual distortions. It's perhaps being able to see or perceive reality in a new way. So, say when you have a spiritual experience, like some people have seen religious figures on psychedelics, some people have claimed to had visions of Buddha or even Jesus. Are these people actually seeing Jesus or Buddha? Are they actually peeling reality away and seeing like what's underneath it, which is just this crazy spiritual orgy that's just going on everywhere we look? I really don't think so. I think that if you take away all of the sensationalism and you actually look at it on a fact-for-fact basis, what is happening is these substances are exaggerating what people already believe. Or what's more, maybe it's not what they know or what they think they believe, but perhaps it's bringing out subconscious beliefs, not even beliefs. Perhaps what these experiences are doing are bringing out subconscious programming that you're not even aware you've been programmed with. A known effect of any psychedelic substance is its ability to exaggerate how you already feel. That's why it is stated that set and setting are so important. If you feel comfortable in your setting, in the area that you're, say, dosing in, you are going to probably more likely have a comfortable experience. If you feel comfortable with your life, with yourself, if you're in a happy, good place when you take a psychedelic, you're probably going to have a happy, positive trip. And it doesn't just revolve around feelings. These substances also exaggerate your current understanding and your current belief patterns and thoughts. What I'm getting at is perhaps when people have very spiritual type experiences, what is going on is simply an exaggeration of what they hope, what they want, what they wish, what they're holding on to be the ultimate truth. Now, I would like to verify that this is kind of a contradiction of what I've just been talking about, but there almost, maybe, might be a way to reach a point during, say, a psychedelic experience where you do know that what you're seeing is real, that you're actually experiencing some type of ultimate reality. But when you reach these points, it becomes ineffable. It is impossible to take these realizations back and translate them into language. Well, these experiences share something in common with meditation, with reaching states of satori, with the attainment of Buddhist monks. What they want to do is reach a state of no mind, of emptiness. In these truthful moments, it's impossible to come back and share them. Because as soon as you try to share something, as soon as you speak in a situation like that, it brings it right back to your ego. The ego self is the self that's communicating with you all right now. I'm speaking through my ego. Anytime we are having a conversation or walking or moving about, we are operating from a place of ego, through a place of personality, through a place of self. The confusion that a lot of people have when they do reach these states of selflessness, of, satori, is they try to then come back, and I've made this mistake myself, and translate an experience of no self through using a self. You try to explain what it's like to have no ego through your ego, which just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. These are ineffable experiences. And it's very possible, I would even say it's very likely, that those experiences, when the self no longer exists, are a form of viewing some type of ultimate reality, because it's a way to experience your own consciousness, at least, without the filter of the personality of the ego over top of it. But again, this is a state that you don't need psychedelics to reach. I mean, psychedelics are like a hack. They help you reach it faster. But these are states that you can reach just with traditional meditation. And it's unfortunate that I can't sit here and try to explain to you what this state feels like. But I can say that in a very real level, if beneath the personality, we really are all the same consciousness. And I mean all. If at a base level being an empty slate before all of my programming has been put in, before I grew up and turned into Adam, if at my most base level I am just pure awareness, and if at everyone else's base level they are just pure awareness before it gets, polluted and built upon to create an ego, if that is the base level, then I would say that there's no difference. When I'm in that state of no self, and say someone else is sitting with me and they're also in a state of no self, we are both sharing the same state. During those states, you are no different than anyone else. And it really is realistic, almost reliable to say that in that type of experience, we are all one and the same. But there's also the chance that I'm just doing a terrible job of explaining this right now, but I really hope that at least some of you guys can kind of understand what I'm getting at with this. My current understanding of psychedelics bringing forth spiritual experiences, or experiences where you say meet the Almighty, you meet some sort of God or entity, is if those experiences are helping you, if they are helping you to better adapt or helping you to live a more loving and, which is translated into a more healthy life, then they're good. Then they're good. Maybe they don't have to be true. Maybe we don't have to prove some of the experiences that we have for them to be beneficial. I mean, we don't. We don't have to prove an experience for it to be beneficial. If I want to believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that when I've smoked DMT, my consciousness has been sucked out of this world and sent to the DMT dimension, and if that helps me in my life, and if that allows me to spread more love and positivity, and, just be a happier, better person, then there's no harm in that. Because one of the things, illusion or not, that these substances can do is they can allow you to objectively look at your own life and look at the way that you're treating the planet or treating others or treating animals, or just simply look at the way that you're treating yourself and realize the folly in a lot of your thoughts. If psychedelics can help people become better humans, take better care of the planet, take better care of each other, then even if everything that you do experience is fake, I would still say that these substances are beneficial for most people to explore. Anyway, I would like to end off this video by saying again, these thoughts, everything expressed in this video is simply one perspective. I have the ability in my own mind to kind of see things from different perspectives and go on tangents as if that was the truth. I'm also not saying that I necessarily agree with all the points that I'm making. I'm simply trying to offer you or anyone watching, or even myself, a new perspective to see these substances from. And I'm also trying to clarify some of these nasty trips that people have had where they've let a really bad trip take control of their life and dictate their happiness. One of my nightmares is that when you die, you're stuck in that kind of purgatory, this limbo where it's just you and you're surrounded with nothing but your own self, and it just repeats forever. And it's kind of like being trapped in a cage in pitch black, like completely alone in the dark for eternity. And that's a nightmare that I have when sober. So of course, in a psychedelic trip, I've had bad trips where I've experienced that as the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth was when you die, you're stuck in a never-ending, repeating cycle, a nightmare, which you could even translate into karmic beliefs. They say that we're karmically constantly coming back and we're stuck in the karmic cycle. I mean, there are so many perspectives to see all of these experiences from, and I can't go through them all in just one video. So yeah, again, I really wanted to preface this by stating that these are not necessarily my beliefs, but there's a lot of truth to what I'm saying in regards to how people interpret their psychedelic trips, or in regards to the power that these substances have. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave me a like, hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for future psychedelic related content. I want to give a big thank you, as I always do, to everyone supporting me on Patreon, because yeah, I've said this so many times, but I don't make very much via YouTube advertising because they don't favor drug-related content. Who would have thought? What is your take on the truth that some of these psychedelics have shown to you? What do you believe? Let me know. I'm curious.